Do you want to be an IUL professional? In this educational episode, I'm going to address what is IUL Insiders. If you are a professional, an IUL agent, this is for you. If you're a member of the general public, I would strongly recommend, if you're interested in indexed universal life being structured correctly and funded properly, that you seek out an IUL insider to structure it for you. Get ready. I'm going to explain what IUL Insiders is all about if you are a professional. So I'm Doug Andrew, and I've been a financial strategist and retirement planning specialist now for 5 decades, helping people optimize assets, minimize taxes, empower what I call their authentic wealth. And my favorite financial instrument, bar none, during this whole time period is properly structured indexed universal life. Now, indexed UL didn't come out until 1997. Prior to that, I was one of the front runners when universal life was introduced by E.F. Hutton back in 1980. And so I've written 12 books thus far, and they all talk about how to properly structure and design IUL to be used for living benefits. That was, E.F. Hutton's brainchild behind this is how can we take the least amount of insurance that the IRS will let us get away with and put in the most money the IRS allows so it turns into a cash cow. So let me go through and explain the benefits of belonging to this special coalition called IUL Insiders. It's to help those professionals set goals, plans, and have predictable systems. And so in IUL Insiders, we have a lot of different modules, and I'm going to show you just a taste of what you get if you want to belong to this coalition. Now, one of the things that I've taught for years is how to measure where you're at in your profession by using a scorecard. So this is the 10-key scorecard, and this is what I spoke about clear back in 2001 at the $1 Million Roundtable Convention. And because I had been a member of the top of the table for 12 consecutive years, they wanted me to share 10 of the life-changing, career-changing keys where I went from making about $500,000 a year personally in 1991, 1992, and in 60 months, I was able to 10 times my income to over $5 million a year. And so they said that my talk was the most downloaded talk for the next 2 years. It was an honor to speak at the $1 Million Roundtable. And so these are the 10 keys over here on the left. And this is arranged on a scorecard, poor, fair, good, better, best. And so what I ask many professionals to do is to read across each of these keys and sort of circle the statement that typifies where they are currently at in their practice. And a lot of agents, they don't know what they don't know. And when they go through and they add up all of these on a scale of 1 to 10, they realize that their score might only be 32 or 40 or 50 at the best. And so it's a no-brainer. I go, well, do you want to raise your score? Because when I raised my score to over 90 in less than 60 months, that's when my income grew by 10x. So that's what I do is I help people raise their score. Now, IUL Insiders Pro focuses on these first 3 really deep so that you can get it at least up here to the good level, because I'm shocked how many producers are not at that level, and I'll show you why. We also teach how to create predictable systems. But whenever I ask people the question, how many of you would like to raise your score on this scorecard? Everybody does. I go, well, yeah, everybody wants a higher score in their future. So if that's what you would like and you'd like to grow your practice by 10x, keep watching. I'm going to show you some of the tools that we provide in IUL Insiders where you can accomplish that. So let me introduce you to this IUL Insiders. I'm going to give you the 50,000-foot view. You know, when I began to look at this, and I launched it a couple of years ago, I have an associate firm. My educational firm is Three Dimensional Wealth. I just get on YouTube, I get on radio, I get on TV, I write books, and I educate people. When people get educated, especially about IUL, They want it. And when they read my books, they understand TEFRA, DEFRA, and TAMRA, and LIFO and FIFO, and all kinds of things better than most agents do. And so I thought, I've got to train agents because they're going to be embarrassed when their clients read my book and they go to order their policy, because that's what happens. Well, I have an associate firm that are affiliated, Laser Financial, where they purchase leads that I generate, and my two sons, Emmett and Aaron, who are two of the nation's top producers. My son Aaron knocks down about $2 million in target premium every year, year in and year out. My son Emmett does about half that, and then he's also the CEO of our firm, and he also he helps people with IUL Insiders. So when I say CEO of the firm, this is the IUL Insiders that I'm talking about right now. So do you know that just with 8 IUL agents since 2007, they have repositioned $1.5 billion in assets? They know what they're talking about. In fact, I'm one of the very first people who started selling IUL in 1997. And so the IUL specialists that we teach in this coalition understand IUL better than the carriers do. We're regarded as the number one experts by the carriers, the industry, the regulators, and we can allow you in IUL Insiders to have exclusive access to marketing secrets, educational materials, resources, and systems when you're an active member of the IUL Insiders Coalition and Network. And these are learning management systems I'll talk about in just a moment. But my vision for IUL Insiders for years, because I had over 3,000 professionals invest $6,400 to come through a 3-day training, and I had 3,000 of them come through between 2003 and 2007. But then a lot of them went out and they didn't incorporate it. They go, Doug, we don't have time to educate people like you do. What our clients don't know won't hurt them. Well, it did, because 2008 crash and their clients lost money, and they knew better. They knew they should have put them in an indexed contract so they wouldn't have lost in 2008. And so that's when I just started to focus on helping those who were really going to implement it. And so I sort of put it on the back burner. I put it in a vault. And now I have opened that vault to IUL insiders who want to learn how to do it correctly to separate the sheep from the goats. So I view this as a safe, confidential platform to share best practices for marketing, client education, proper case design, and a weekly mastermind setting. We do this every single week in a mastermind setting. Number 2, to be part of a powerful coalition that has substantial clout in the financial services industry, with the carriers, with the regulators. Many times, insurance companies will come to us for our good housekeeping seal before they release a new IUL product. We have that much clout. If we don't like it, they won't even release it, even though they've invested $500,000 up until that point designing it. We also provide a Q&A platform where it's safe and everybody has an abundant mindset, where you can collaborate with other IUL professionals. Many people just say, this is incredible. It's worth the whole membership in IUL Insiders. Well, I want you to know that this is not a recruiting platform. If you are building an organization and you join IUL Insiders, you will be ousted instantly if you attempt to recruit any other member of IUL Insiders to sell for you. We are not recruiting people. You stay with your IMO, and this is not a recruitment thing, and I'm going to come back and explain that in a little bit more detail. So I want people to get my take on industry changes, new products, rules, the economy, what messages are resonating with prospective clients, what's working, what's not working. I produce a new radio show every week. I've been doing it for 15 years. I know based upon how many calls come in. I know when I release YouTube videos, how many views. We get 130,000 views a month. I know which YouTube videos and topics, whether it's taxes or inflation or market volatility. I can save you so much time by sharing this with you, okay? Be a part of a network of advisors that promise to adhere to a strict code of ethics. There's too many loose cannons out there, and so we're trying to direct the public to the ones who know how to do it correctly instead of the ones who don't. And then to have access to our LMS, which is what I was referring to. That's a learning management system. There's 2 portals there. One is that you go through a series of several videos and answer questions. And by the time you're through that, you've answered 150 questions on proficiency. You will be in the top 0.1% of IUL producers in America. But then we have a portal for your clients that you send your clients through, and they watch it without being sidetracked by YouTube ads and everything on YouTube. And then at the end, it's just like, okay, I'm ready for my IUL policy. I want to put this much money into it and so forth. They understand the basics. You just sort of help them design it. That is the learning management system, okay? Again, recruiting is forbidden. You stay with your IMO. This is not about pulling you away from your companies or your IMO. So it's a safe platform. So who's it for? Now, agents of all caliber who want to grow their practice. My sons, Emron and Aaron, they started from scratch and they learned by osmosis. And now they are 2 of the top producers in America with several different insurance companies, okay? Blair Whiting, he was a fellow top of the table member. When he came on board, he doubled his production and he was already a $5 million a year producer. Carl Nelson was a client of mine, an aeronautical engineer. He had 2 IUL policies, as did his wife. Well, his wife got cancer and passed away and left him with 7 children, and that allowed him to be able to raise his preschoolers for a couple of years. And when he went back to work, he decided to engineer people's brighter futures. And Carl now is in the top 0.1% of IUL producers because he's learning from this education and everything that we have. So he's like a $500,000 producer. Brandon Johnson was with Mass Mutual, barely eking out a living, trying to do the banking concept. When he saw IUL structured correctly, it was like the banking concept on steroids. He now is knocking down $500,000 a year. So this is, they all started from where they were at, and now they're doing incredibly well. Do you know that more than 500 new IUL cases per month have been generated since we started this? And IUL Insiders has already generated over $50 million of a new target premium in just the short 2 years that it's been out as of the recording of this episode. So my question is when you total your score on this scorecard, and I'll show you where you can actually go in and get a copy of this scorecard and attend a webinar. I want to ask you this question: what would raising your score do for you? When you get your score over 90, you will be knocking down $500,000 to $1 million a year. But you've got to take it in steps. So many times, agents get out there and they've got all of these people, and they get a ceiling of complexity. The IMOs, the carriers, the team members, and competitors and ads. Try Facebook, try Twitter, try this and that. And what does IUL Insiders provide? One clear path. One clear path, so you don't have all that clutter. So when we go to the scorecard, the very first tier is IUL Insiders Pro. And the goal, you can be working on all the keys, but to get the first 3 keys up to at least a 5 or 6 as soon as possible. And when you do that, you should be knocking down at least a 6-figure income. And it should be a no-brainer. So that's the pro program that I'm talking about here. That's where you begin so that you can be ready to go to the master's level at 500,000 and elite level where you're making over $1 million a year. Sometimes I show professionals this pyramid, and it's really critical that you get essential knowledge down and selling and presentation skills, and then you'll be making about $100,000 a year, and that's usually keys 1, 2, and 3. And then you can advance to tweak the marketing and the operational systems. That's our master's program. That's keys 4, 5, and 6, moving to a score of 7 or 8. And then you focus on team building, balance of behavior, and you can build an incredible organization. And that's where you'll be doing $5 and $10 million a year. So when we look at this, when you join IUL Insiders and you attend this webinar, I'll just give you a glimpse. You'll have 7 huge benefits. The first is this 10 keys transformation that I've been talking about. And you'll be able to go through and begin to implement that so that your business GPS, where you're at and where you're wanting to go. And that is a $2,000 value. And that's the first benefit, okay? Then as I mentioned, I've had over 3,000 advisors in 2003 to 2007 invest $6,495. Many of them came back 2, 3, and 4 times. But this is separating the sheep from the goats. I put that away in that vault, and now I've opened that vault. So this is the IUL Mastery Knowledge Vault, which is worth about $12,000. And you will begin to understand and learn and to get all the training. There's 21 critical basic videos, and you have to answer 150 questions to go through all those videos. And then there's 11 more videos on where to find money, so your cases start going to $10,000 and $20,000 and $30,000 of target premium. And there's the Mastery Series, an assessment. There's the Foundations of Proper Case Design. We do this one day a week, and it's usually 90 minutes. You can submit cases and watch them design cases properly that others submit. So the IUL Mastery and Assessments, the Foundation of Proper Case Design, and then the Laser Fund Masterclass. The public many times invests in this. You better go through this. It's 18 hours of education, because your clients will know more than you do if you don't take advantage of this. So all of this is a $12,000 value. It brings the total so far up to $8,400, and there's more that is added all the time, and that's just the second of 7 huge benefits. What's the third one? Well, it's the IUL Insider Mentoring, which is a $12,000 value. And this is where you get weekly mentoring. This is done on a webinar basis. It's archived. You can watch it again and again. So you're being mentored, and you have access to the entire archives. You have the design, the case design, and that is mentoring each week. That's a separate call that you can be on there for about 90 minutes. People get blown away with that. And you've got to learn how to establish and design cases correctly. And so many agents think they know how until they come and they join this and they're blown away. And then you get never-ending prospects by meeting and being mentored by Bud Heaton. He is our marketing genius, and he does that once a month. And this is how to be able to create a well-oiled machine. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here in just a moment. So that brings the value up to $20,000. Then that's just 3 of 7 benefits. What do we have in addition? This is the IUL Insider Marketing Suite, which is a $12,000 value. So many agents. I've never had a problem with prospects. So many agents, they know what to say when they have somebody in front of them, but they don't know how to find people. So this is where you automate your marketing system. System's an acronym that stands for Save Yourself Time, Energy, and Money, to find and filter the right fit clients. And so this is all a marketing system to help you predictably get those right fit clients. And when you do that, many who join, they're able to get rid of all these software programs and so forth. Many times they save about $1,000 a month. They get rid of all that. They don't know how to integrate it all to talk to each other. We have one simple marketing suite that does all of that. So many IUL insiders cancel all of these other software programs, and we've already integrated it all. So that more than pays for the membership. This is the 4th of 7 benefits. In addition to that, there's a free bonus, and this is the pre-built marketing templates and tools. That's a $2,000 value. What am I talking about? You can just sort of plug and play what we have already done. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. We've been using this system for years. Secrets to a tax-free retirement, retire by design. You can use my videos. You can put your videos in when you're confident. You can put your logos in here. And so it's just an incredible marketing system that's already been proven. That brings the value up to $34,000. What you're doing is you're capturing leads and nurturing those leads on autopilot so that you can spend your time presenting plans and closing cases. This is what you should be doing instead of out here. This should be on autopilot. Does that make sense? So that is the bonus with this, and this is 5 of 7 benefits. I'm asking you right now, what would one additional case per month do for you? Well, most IUL insiders are writing at least 1, sometimes 2 or 3 new cases every month just from joining. So we also have another bonus, and this is the second one. And this is the IUL Auditor Simulator Tools. This is where you're able to audit IUL policies, and many agents audit policies of agents that are no longer in the business, and they're able to write new business, maybe do 1035 exchanges, but you can also audit your own to make sure they're structured correctly. But the simulator is where you're able to simulate what really happens with an IUL instead of just the insurance company software that shows a 5.5% or 6% rate of return or whatever is required at the time. Is that what really happens through ups and downs in the markets? Is you're just going to constantly get 5.5%? No, there's some years you cap out and other years you earn zero. And so people want to see, well, how would this have really worked in 2008, in 2001? The simulator allows you to show clients how it works in the real world, okay? That is so incredible. And you'll have pads where you can design the IUL contract structured correctly. That brings the total value up to $36,000. That's the sixth of 7 benefits. So what's the seventh and final benefit? Well, it's priceless. And this is where you have open office hours and chat support. That's priceless. And Facebook community. A lot of IUL insiders underestimated this one. They would never dream of leaving the network or the coalition because of the camaraderie and the collaboration with their fellow comrades in this organization. And so that's why it's so incredible. It brings the total value up to $36,000. And this is the 7th of 7 benefits. So folks, when we started IUL Insiders, we had 2 choices, and I'm using a cartoon here that I use in my public seminars when I'm talking about how we have irresponsible government spending and the printing of money, and Uncle Sam's having to take a bigger and bigger piece of the American taxpayer's pie. Well, you can't believe how many people, when they heard me say I was going to open my vault and start teaching IUL professionals, I don't want to go to my grave with all this wisdom and knowledge in me. I want to help as many people as possible. And they said, Doug, you're crazy if you don't get an override or split cases with people or force them to get a contract under you. And I said, well, you can call me crazy. No, it's not about that. It is a subscription you can cancel anytime you want, but I want to provide value. IUL Insiders should never, ever cost you money. It should make you money. And so that's why you stay with your IMO. Many of our producers have become the #1 producer with their IMO within 6 months. So if you want to check this out and you're an IUL producer, I would go to www.iulinsiderpro.com, register for the next webinar, and we'll be able to go through the full presentation for you. You're going to be blown away. If you want to start a 30-day trial for free and just get a taste of some of the experiences in this for free, you can do a 30-day trial for free. But go to this website, check it out, and if you're serious about becoming a professional, I would strongly recommend that you join the IUL Insider Network.